The Scottish Government is being criticised for not publishing the location of 25 residential tower blocks which could be covered with combustible cladding. According to the Scottish Tenants Organisation, tower blocks in Aberdeen, Edinburgh and Glasgow are among those with potentially combustible materials. They say residents have a right to know if their homes are affected. Brandon Cook reports.
The night of the 14th of June is remembered by many for the wrong reasons. 72 people died when a London tower block caught fire. Its exterior was covered in flammable cladding. In Scotland, millions have been set aside to remediate buildings with similar combustible facades, but the exact cost of repairs are different in each case. After years of campaigning, the location of many privately owned blocks caught up in the crisis is now known. Owners can apply for building assessments and repairs, but it's a different story for publicly owned buildings. Across Scotland, 133 blocks have potentially combustible materials, similar to that found on the Grenfell Tower. 25 of them are earmarked for a pilot assessment. One block is in Aberdeen, 8 are in Edinburgh, and 16 are in Glasgow. We don't know more than that, but the Scottish Tenants Organisation say residents should.
If you're living in combustible cladding, I think you would rather know about it, and you would then take action with your fellow tenants and actually say to the authorities, I want this combustible cladding taken out and non-flammable cladding put in its place. We need maximum transparency and accountability on this.
In response, the Housing Secretary says residents in towers on the pilot scheme are aware of their building's condition.
Well, the residents and those representing the residents of the properties concerned had explicitly asked us not to reveal the exact location. So the local authorities in which the buildings were located was revealed, but not the actual locations.
So some within the 25 blocks on the pilot scheme know, but what about residents in the other 108 blocks?
Obviously, I appreciate that we've been very focused on getting work up and running on the 25 buildings involved in the pilot, and that has been a complex task in itself. What we want to do then is to take that learning and roll it out across the other buildings affected, and we will engage with residents, some of whom will be aware to a lesser or greater extent and will be involved to a lesser or greater extent.
The Tenants Organisation is appealing the response. An answer is expected in the coming weeks. Brandon Cook, STV News.